Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Texties, another podcast. Today we have someone very special with us. She joined us from Hungary. She's gonna share her quarantine life, that how she is spending her quarantine life, as well as she is going to share her entrepreneurial journey. And prior to starting her entrepreneurial journey, she has an amazing background. She worked with some of the very big names across the globe. We're gonna ask her a few questions regarding that. By the way, first of all, thank you so much for sparing out time from your busy schedule for this podcast.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here and joining your podcast.
It's really a pleasure to have you. By the way, who is at it? Like, yeah, can you
Okay.
please introduce yourself for the audience before going for any questions?
Of course, I'm happy to. Yeah, it's a tricky question because as a professional, I would say that I'm a digital marketing expert or evangelist who is trying to help and support companies on the digital area. But I'm also an entrepreneur. So myself, I wanted to start a company since like years ago. And now I have my own company named Kider App, which helps parents to find the best kids activities and programs around their area. So basically, I'm not just a professional, but also an entrepreneur. And I would also define myself as a constant learner. So I'm curious about the world. I'm trying to learn as much as I can and share it with others. So this is also part of my personality.
Wow. So, by the way, when it comes to, I was going through your journey, like how you came into professional life, what made you make realize that you want to be in marketing
Mhm.
because you started your career with marketing, how that happened, and then we are gonna ask you something about your journey prior to your app, prior to finding founding your own company.
Okay, I think I have a very adventurous journey. So I actually started as a wannabe teacher. I learned in the university Hungarian literature and language. So I was thinking that I would become a teacher in a high school, but I would say like quite fast I realized that this is not something which is really fitting to my personality. So just to try myself out, I started to work in an advertisement agency as a communication specialist, and I felt in love with all the advertisement opportunities. I was really at the beginning of the online era, so there were just we were just starting to use Google AdWords. There were this first Facebook pages created, and companies started to realize that there is an option to advertise on these platforms. So I was super lucky because I joined in the right time, and I really joined to a great company or a great agency because I had the opportunity to experience with a lot of different platforms, experience with a lot of different clients. So I had clients like Estee Lauder, the cosmetics brand, but I also had like smaller brands like electronical companies. So it was interesting to see different angles of these businesses, and basically that's where I decided that I would like to work and I would like to learn about marketing. And I did it.
Wow. So by the way, there is one thing I didn't knew about, that you started your career with teaching. Like, this is something which is really great. I'm going to ask you one another thing, that during the podcast, that still you are you are working as a visiting lecturer.
Yes. So the idea came because I was a teacher. I started as a teacher. The idea came from the agency director that we should create an online marketing academy. And so we created, like, I think 8 years ago or 9 years ago, we created an online marketing curriculum. And to be honest, it was so good. Like, okay, because of the agency work and everyone, it was so good that one of the colleges in Hungary, they applied kind of to get the licenses, and we kind of merged.
Wow.
Yeah, and now we are having a college degree out of this online academy. So we have a digital marketing MBA grown out from this first idea.
I think this is really a huge achievement, and when you have such kind of achievement, this is also a kind of motivation for everyone. So by the way, prior to starting your own product, which is Kidder app, You
Yeah.
spent several years at key positions with Microsoft, Citibank, Bear International, and you're also a visiting lecturer, as we just discussed. So, how all of what was your? Can you share a little bit about your that journey prior to your starting your own app?
Yes. So basically, after the agency side, I wanted to see how the client side is working. So how the big companies deciding about their marketing strategy, how they're planning their budget, what is the reason why they are choosing one of the platforms. So that's when I joined to Citibank, and I would say that I was also a bit lucky because Citibank at that moment was kind of experimenting with a lot of new online tools, and they were also using the Hungarian market as a test market for a lot of things. So I quickly became the head of digital because there was a lot of knowledge I gained at the agency side. So I was kind of helpful for Citibank to test and experience with these digital tools. And there I learned. I would say that I love to work there. So Citibank is one of the most amazing companies I know from cultural
So,
point.
wow, you were immediately promoted to a high-end position
Okay, not
because
not
of your prior experience.
yeah, but not immediately. It was like after 1.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but because it was quite fresh area and quite a fresh idea to really use these tools there, I think it was really again a right time for the right place. So I think that was kind of this, and also I would say that because of my curiosity, I really try to learn a lot about this digital marketing industry, and that probably was sympathetic for for my managers. So yes, that was amazing. Unfortunately, Citibank sold the Hungarian company, so they closed the office in 2014. So I had to leave the bank, but I joined to another bank, which is the biggest Hungarian bank, OTP Bank, and I was the founder of the digital marketing team at OTP Bank because they at that moment they didn't have that knowledge in house.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
it's so amazing that you even founded something even when you were working with other companies.
yeah, it was
You were
interesting.
leading a lot of different projects, yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting, but it was a kind of copy of Citibank's operations. So basically, OTP wanted to be as much capable in digital area as Citibank was, because Citibank was really ahead of the market at that time.
So
So
it means you always had that entrepreneurial instinct, which an entrepreneur needs to have
yeah, I think
since start.
it's really my personality that I really like to start and build up things. And I'm not that good in operating for a long time. So I'm more of this starter and more of this creator type of person.
So when it comes to this starter thing, and when it comes to starting points are always very difficult. So it means you love to be in challenges.
That's true. That's exactly what I like, to be in new situations, meet with new people, get know about new things and new ideas, and get challenged. Yeah, that's definitely.
Wow, that's great. This is another aspect of your personality. I think people like normally people are afraid of challenges, failures, and all that, but you are into all of these things and you like them. I think this is something which is really amazing. So, by the
Thank
way, when it comes to Bear International, how that journey started?
Okay, so before Bear International, I joined to Microsoft, and that was basically, I think, the reason why they hired me at Bear. Because at Microsoft, I was responsible for Hungarian market, but I was also really deep connection or close connection with the Central European team. So I got a lot of experience from how the things are going on the Czech market, Slovakian market, Romania. So I got a lot of insights from this part of Europe. So Bear International was looking for a Europe marketing director at that moment, someone who has experience internationally. And I would say that because of Citibank and because of Microsoft, they thought that probably it would be me who is the best fitting to this position. So yeah, I get hired to be responsible for 52 countries. So I've been communicating around Europe, and when
Wow, 52 countries.
yes, at that moment it was that much.
Wow. So that must be a very huge learning experience in terms of your personal grooming.
Yeah, it was very challenging. So it was a bit like, they would say that it's a bit bigger coat than than you would fit in at the beginning. But I would say that after like a lot of support from my team and after a lot of learning curve, I really was able to deliver what it was expected from my role. So we were able to engage new companies to buy our services. We were able to engage new people to help our research. So it was kind of successful to really use all the digital tools I get used to use in my previous position.
Wow, I think everything, whatever one do in life, it helps on the later stages. Like
Ex-
this is a real learning from your experience. So by
exactly.
the way, you're also the founder of a Kidder app. You are doing so many things. You are a visiting lecturer. You're a founder of a Kidder app. You also mentored for a while, for a long period of time. You also mentoring startups. So when it comes to your own product, and you founded your own company, what was the inspiration behind and how that all started? What is the story?
Okay, it was a very funny thing because the idea came like 2 years ago, as a lot of my friends already had kids at that moment. And, we tried to organize like gatherings, but it was not that convenient or not that easy because we needed to find places where kids are welcome, where there is at least a kids menu or like something to do with them. So I realized that there is not that easy to find these places and not that easy to find programs where you can bring the kids as well, so which are fitting to their interests or fitting to their need. And also parents told me like it's very challenging to find development activities to the kids or entertainment. So I started a research and I realized that in Hungary there were no digitally advanced tools. So something where you can really search like on your mobile or like location based about these options. And then I did a research and I realized that this is something which already started in the US, for example, or in the UK. So they already started to work on these kind of apps, and there are some startups actually in the US and UK doing the same thing. So I realized that, okay, I can do this in Hungary. It's not that difficult, right? I mean, I thought that it's something deliverable. But then, of course, it was super hard and frustration came with a lot of things because, like, developing an application is really, really challenging. But I enjoy all the moments. I left my job because I realized that, doing two things in the same time, it's not, I mean, I cannot be good enough in neither of them. So that's why I decided
You
that, okay,
wanted to be focused on your product, so you left your job.
exactly, because I felt like, okay, it's cheating if I'm not trying this. So it would be like cheating my, I don't know, willing or my idea if I'm not giving a chance to this.
So
So
until and unless someone don't believe in their idea, they cannot take such kind of bold step. I'm gonna say this is a very bold step, leaving your stable life behind and started working on something very new because entrepreneurial journey is full of sweat and tears. It's not an easy journey to go through. So yeah.
it is actually sometimes very depressing and sometimes super super fantastic. So it's a roller coaster, I would say. And if you like this roller coaster experience, then yeah, it's definitely something to try out. But you have to be prepared that this is not always sunny.
So by the way, when it comes to a roller coaster experience, as you just mentioned, really it's like a roller coaster experience because I've personally been through a lot of experiences in my life. So, what you suggest, like how should people also need to enjoy this roller coaster experience because most of the people are just too much focused on their products and all that on the companies, and they don't enjoy the journey. I think enjoy this journey. It's also a part of your entrepreneurial life.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if you're really passionate about your product or your idea, and if you also kind of prepared to experience these ups and downs during the journey, then yeah, it's something worth to do. So I mean, it only works if you really believe in yourself and your idea. So it really needs this kind of belief, but there are a lot of support. So you can meet great people around your journey, mentors, companies supporting. There are a lot of accelerators and incubator programs where you can really get a great help and great support. So I would say that without these mentors or without these programs, I wouldn't be here, because yeah, there were moments when I really needed this kind of outside support.
So, by the way, when it comes to your entrepreneurial journey, you also been through an incubator and accelerator,
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
you started.
I mean,
How
not
was
that.
your experience with incubators and accelerators?
Okay, so we didn't start it there. So we started by our own. I have a co-founder, Tomasz, and we started like just the two of us. But then we realized that okay, maybe it's not enough. Maybe we would need a support. So first we found a mentor who was next to us for a couple of months, and because he also suggested, and because we see that we would need a support, then we applied to an incubator program, which is the Central European University's Innovations Lab, where we were incubated, let's say, and we get a lot of support from them. Like we get an office, we get trainings, workshops. We also get some new mentors and new support people in different areas. So it was very useful. It was very challenging also to not just do my business, but also try to learn as much as possible from these people. And now we are in an accelerator program. We are at one of Hungary's biggest program, Design Terminal mentoring program. And this is coming to the end. So the final pitch is going to be 2 weeks from now.
Wow.
So it's very exciting. We just working now on this pitch. So it will be fun.
So, by the way, when it comes to her journey for the audience, she didn't just started her own startup, but she has a huge success. Like her name was mentioned under Forbes 30 under 30. Her name was mentioned in CX 30 by 30. It must be a great honor. By the way, it was one of your dreams to be in these lists. How that happened? What is the story behind? And when the first time you came to know about that your name has been mentioned in the list, what was your expression like? How you were feeling at that point in time?
Okay, it was actually a surprise to me. So I personally thought that I'm not good enough to get onto the list. So I never dreamed about it. I know about it. I was like, oh wow, what a great thing, but I never thought that it's something for me, because because I am from teaching background. I'm from not that like strict business person. And you
No, by
imagine.
the way, when it comes to your background, you're being humble right now. But when it comes to your background, it's really impressive, honestly.
Okay, yeah, but still I thought that there are much more people who are also valuable and recognizable other than me. So that it was super funny. I was walking on the street, my phone was ringing, and I pick up the phone, and there was a guy introducing himself and immediately asking like, how old am I? And I was shocked. This is inappropriate.
Why this random guy is asking about my age?
Someone just calling and asking my age. This is insane. I mean, what happened? And then he kind of calmed down and he said, like, I'm sorry, I'm calling you from the Forbes magazine. We are creating a Forbes 30 under 30 list, and I get nominated, but they are not sure about my age, so they're afraid that I'm over 30. And I said, like, no, I'm under. I'm still under. And he was like, oh, that's a great news. So I'm going to be on the list. And, at the beginning, I thought this is a joke. Someone calling me, telling me, like, okay. So he sent me an email, like, also after the phone call, that then, okay, because of my age, I can get onto the list, because other than my age, I'm also nominated because of my experience and background. So I was super, super happy and excited. I was almost like crying, like, oh, this happy type of thing, like, oh my God, this is something happening with me. So it was super,
Wow.
and
That must be a very exciting moment for you guys.
it was I was like, it's like in the movies, or when you see a film about something, you see it from, like, I felt like I'm not at that moment, I'm seeing it outside. So,
Like
from the
it's a kind of fantasy, it's not reality.
Yes, it was super funny, and yeah, and it was I think a great moment, because a lot of things started thanks to that. So I felt like, okay, if I'm able to get to the first 30 under 30 list, then I'm able to do my own company. Then I'm able to jump out from my position. So a lot of things are connected to this moment, I would say, when I realized that, okay, if I'm if I can be someone from the first 30, from 30, I can be anyone. So it was very, very life changing
I think this is also something which is very motivational for an entrepreneur to be in such kind of list. And yeah,
yeah, it
and
is.
when you're fully motivated, then these kind of lists make you obsessed about your product, and then that obsession made you a successful entrepreneur.
I think so. I think that this kind of like this kind of feelings and emotional connection really helps to be successful.
Yeah, it's damn true. So by the way, when it comes to your quarantine life, how you spent your quarantine life, and what is the positive, if you can please mention the positive and negative impact of COVID-19 on your life?
Yeah, I think it was also a bit like mind changing for me. I was working a lot before. I was really focused on my business, my personal goals, everything. And this COVID-19 gave me a bit slowdown, or like a moment to stop, because most of my training was canceled. Most of my conferences where I was invited was canceled. A lot of my partners, so those kid program providers whom we are working with, Kider, have to close their business. So it was a moment when nothing happened. So I had to stop, and I had to think over, like, okay, and what now, and how should I overcome to this period when there is nothing happening. So at the beginning, I was a bit depressed, to be honest. I felt like, okay, I lost a lot of things. But then I realized that now there is a moment a bit to focus on myself. So I started an amazing lecture on Coursera, which is about the science of well-being. So it was a psychological class
Wow.
from a Harvard professor, and it was super interesting about how you can really be happy with everything you have. So how you can, like, enjoy life without anything extra. It was very good,
So I
and I
think this is something which is really important, like to be happy within the existing resources you have.
exactly.
I think normally we are just dreaming about things, and we are just working for to get all of those dreams, to turn those dreams into reality. And we're not feeling happy. We are not enjoying our journey with the existing resources. And
Yeah.
what you found out with that? Yeah.
And I found out that basically my life is amazing. So I was super happy that I'm here. I have a loving husband, so I had time with him, which was also great. I had time to cook, because I like to cook, but I don't have time. But during this period, I was home cooking, which was also great. And I did a lot of, like, meditation, yoga, and this kind of physical exercises to really turn myself back to this life, this normal life. So for me, it was really something like memorable, this period. I really reorganized a lot of things in my life, and now it started a new thing. So now we are in this accelerator program. I have a lot of new invites for conferences and trainings. I have a lot of opportunities now to talk about digital marketing and also about entrepreneurship. So it is even better than it was before. So these days are getting more exciting and more fulfilling than it was before the
So
COVID.
you people are back to the new normal.
Yeah, we are
Like it's business as the kind of business as usual for Hungary now.
Yeah, I would say yes. There are some restrictions. So there are like we have to wear masks in the closed places, and there are not that much events happening physically. But we are having a lot of online events. We are having a lot of gathering, like just friends. So we are getting back to the new normal. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, by the way, you were also mentoring a lot of startups. You also mentored a lot of early stage startups, the people who had idea and they want to work on those ideas. So, what's your suggestion? Because a lot of entrepreneurs also listen to this podcast. What you suggest to entrepreneurs who have ideas and they have fear of failure to taking practical steps towards that idea? What you suggest to them?
Okay, I would suggest never to be afraid to try out anything which you believe in, because I think that afraid or like a fear of something, it really kills a lot of things. But next to that, it's very important to be patient and to be persistent, because like success doesn't come immediately. So anything I, for example, achieved, or I saw that anything that companies achieve taking time. So Google was at the beginning not that famous and not that well known, and they needed like 6 or 7 years to become very good, and same as like Apple or same as like Microsoft. So every company who is big now needed time and needed a lot of work and effort to get there. So success may not come immediately, but it will come if you really believe in. So I usually prepare the ones I'm working with to be really persistent.
I think this is something which is really a great message because most of the startup and the budding entrepreneurs think that they have an idea, they are going to work on them, and within next 6 to 7 months, they are going to have multi-million dollars in their account and they are good to go. Like now they have idea, they are good to go. But the thing is, I think persistence, consistency, resilience, these all are the qualities of an entrepreneur. I think it's not an easy journey as you just mentioned. It's a journey which is on a bumpy road, full
Yeah.
of sweat and tears. It's a hard journey. So, but you enjoy like if you are passionate about some the thing which you are doing, then you are gonna enjoy the journey as well. So by the way, everyone had a plan prior to pandemic that this is what I'm gonna do this year because 2020 was a very important year for everyone. Like they are gonna travel to this place. This is what they are gonna do. So what were your plans which were unable to happen? You were unable to do those things due to the COVID-19.
Okay, so actually, I wanted to travel to Asia this year because I've never been that part of the globe. My dream destination would be Vietnam and Cambodia, but unfortunately, because of this situation, we are not able to go. But to be honest, now I realize that there are a lot of places in Hungary which I've never been or never seen. So now I'm kind of thinking where to go within the country, which is also exciting because I never thought about this. Like, okay, traveling to Hungary for a longer time.
This is the time for domestic travel and tourism.
Yes, exactly.
So, can you please mention a place in the world which you have visited before and you love that place? You really want to visit that place again.
Okay, so exactly before the lockdown, in at the beginning of March, I've been in Spain, Sevilla, which was, I think, the most one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been. They have amazing buildings, amazing culture, beautiful people, and fantastic food. So for me, Spain was really a great experience. It was my second time there, but the first time at Sevilla. So I think.
You were there for a conference. You were supposed to go over there for MWC conference. You've been there.
No, I've been there for just holiday, just vacation.
Oh, so basically, I was prior to lockdown. I was supposed to go to Barcelona for MWC Mobile World Conference, but everything has been changed, and we were unable to travel at that point in time.
Yeah.
So, what is your last advice for the listener?
Um, yeah, I think that the most important thing is really to be positive. If you can, I know sometimes it's not that easy, but I try to keep myself to this. Like everything has a reason, and everything has a journey and way to go. So just be optimistic, because everything will come what you really want to be, or what you really want to have.
I think this is really a great message at the end, that stay positive, because only with optimistic approach you can make great things happen. Like, to think about COVID, when it comes to COVID, think about it as like it's a kind of break for you to, it's time to ponder and reflect back on your mistakes, to fix your mistakes, and to plan for the future, plan for the better future, not going to the normal we used to have, to plan for the better future. I think hopefully the world will be a better place post COVID. Thank you so much once again for sparing out time from your busy schedule for this podcast. It's really great. I really, literally, I really enjoyed listening to your story. You have such an amazing story, and you are such a humble. You are such a humble person, as you just mentioned that, like, you're such a humble person. Thank you so much. It's
Thank
been 30 minutes. Like, it's just a 30 minutes podcast. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your openness and your questions, and it was really a great experience to discuss with you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, for the audience, guys, we will be back with another podcast very soon. We are gonna announce it on our social media. Thank you so much once again. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.